started with, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself to the people watching, tell us, who you are and your title, please.
Sure. I'm Tiffany Davila. I'm the Public Affairs Officer for the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management.
Excellent. Let's just go to the latest info in regards to the Greer Fire.
So the latest info coming in, the fire is a little over 7,000 acres, 7,052 acres. We were able to utilize water scoopers today. So we were utilizing them on the south side of the fire. They had about a 20-minute turnaround at Lyman Lake, so we were using those for a couple hours today. We had a window of opportunity with the winds, and we took it with the aircraft. So we were able to get those scoopers up in the air and start working with suppression efforts. The fire did push out to the east side today. It jumped State Route 261. Thus the reason for the go that the County Emergency Management Office initiated today. So we do have an additional go notification for residents, another set notification as well because of the fire activity. All of the information on the evacuation and pre-evacuation statuses can be found at the Apache County Emergency Management's website.
And then just talking about being able to actually attack this fire from above, something that fire crews weren't able to do yesterday. How beneficial was it to have those helicopters, to have those scoopers attack this fire?
It's very beneficial because some of the parts of the fire are inaccessible, so we really have to rely on that aircraft to work those parts of the fire. Aircraft has to work in tandem, though, with those ground crews, with the hand crews and the hotshot crews. Air resources aren't going to put out the fire on their own, so very beneficial to have those scoopers utilized today, working in tandem with the resources on the ground, helping in areas that are inaccessible. There's a lot of heat on that side of the fire. The fire, again, was very active with extreme fire behavior, again, due to the winds. This is a wind-driven fire. Other components are topography, terrain challenges, and vegetation as well. The juniper is drought-stricken. The grass, there's a lot of grass components up in there. The fire did burn into the wallow burn scar, but it just burned right through. There's a lot of grass growing back in that burn scar. There's a lot of dead and down vegetation and the grass component as well. So the fire just burned right through that. Again, it pushed out to the east side today. It jumped State Route 261, thus the need for that extra go notification.
We also know that several Valley Fire Departments are coming up, Phoenix, Mesa, Scottsdale. I believe they're on their way. I don't know, have they made it here already?
So those resources are being utilized as mutual aid. They're not necessarily assigned to the wildfire itself. The mutual aid component is to help backfill the local fire departments here. Fire departments like Greer, the Round Valley, the local fire departments that are fighting the fire need resources to backfill their fire departments to run the everyday 911 calls. So a mutual aid call went out. Fire departments from across the state are answering that mutual aid call, and they're coming here to support the local departments that are supporting their communities on the wildfire.
And you say it's a wind-driven fire. We know initially there was some hope that the winds might die down, but it sounds like 40 miles an hour maybe overnight still. Assume that means it's probably going to be a long night. How would you describe it?
Yep, it's going to be a long night. They were hoping for some decreased winds, but the forecast is sustained at 40 miles per hour tonight. So just like last night, we had high winds on the fire. The fire is likely to stay active through the night. Not good relative humidity recoveries. So firefighters have a long night on their hands. Another night shift. They'll be working, crews and engines engaged. Most of the engines, the task force that the state brought up, is doing active structure protection in communities like South Fork and areas that are ahead of the fire and could be impacted by the fire. But again, the winds have been the biggest challenge on this fire. We were hoping for some decreased winds tomorrow, but it's not really looking like that. And then as we move towards the end of the week, we're looking at the winds increasing again. So winds are going to be problematic over the next couple of days on this fire.
I was wondering, any updates on structures lost? I know before we were told, 3 structures and a possible RV. Any kind of update in regards to that?
No, at this time it's still 3 structures, 1 travel trailer. They are doing damage assessments right now. Again, when this fire initially started in the community of Greer, it burned so hot, it moved so quickly. The priority at the time for the resources were property protection, the safety of the public, and the safety of the firefighters. So they weren't able to get in there and properly assess the damage, but they will be able to do so here in the next couple of days.
Also, I know, a lot of people were evacuated today. I didn't know if you would have an approximate, do we have an approximate number of how many homes were evacuated?
I can approximate about a couple hundred people were evacuated. I can get you a better number, but I know a few hundred people have been evacuated already, and then there's still those folks that are on set. A good reminder for the people that are on set is please be vigilant, stay alert of the ever-changing fire conditions, pay attention to the weather, the news reports that are coming off this fire. At any time, you could go. Please be prepared, have a go bag packed. Items like water, snacks, important documents, maybe a passport, your ID, change of clothes, a couple clothes for a couple of nights just in case you have to be gone. Don't forget your prescription and your pets. Oftentimes people leave their pets behind. They're frantic. Their adrenaline's running. They leave, and they leave their pets behind. And there's times that we can't allow our firefighters to go back into that area to get your pet. So just be mindful of those things when you're trying to prepare in the event of an emergency.
Was that a couple hundred in total or just today?
A couple hundred in total.
Thank you.
Was that 3 structures in a travel trailer or 2 structures in a travel trailer?
3 structures in a travel trailer, yes.
Can you talk about the origin of the fire at all? Someone was showing me on a map that it happened near the Greer Fire Department, and it was a home apparently that a fuse board or something like that caught fire. Do you know anything about that?
So I do know the fire started on the west side of the road, the main road coming into Greer. It did start on private property. Our state fire investigators are actually en route to start working that fire. They're going to be tying in with the Apache Sick Grapes law enforcement officers to start getting boots on the ground and actively investigating the fire. So at this time, I cannot speak on the cause of the fire or the investigation. So we'll wait for them to, start working and find out what could have possibly started the fire. Once we have that report, we can release that information. But at this time, it is under investigation.
How does the cold affect the firefighters? And are they working all night? And also, it's going to be like down to freezing. That doesn't put out the fire, though.
No, we're talking about a different elevation type, different vegetation type than we're talking about a fire down in southern Arizona, right? When we're working a grass fire, these cooler temperatures really help suppress the fire and help it lay down, but that's not the case here. The fire is staying active throughout the night. Typically what we see is relative humidity levels overnight will increase and it'll help kind of put the fire to bed, but that is not happening here. The fire is staying active overnight into the early morning hours. As the sun comes up in the morning tomorrow, once the heat hits the fire, we'll start seeing that active fire behavior again.
I think you already answered this, but I just kind of want to reiterate kind of the game plan going into tonight. What is going to be the main focus of fire crews while they're out there?
So again, they're going to be working to get containment line in. They're working with dozers to help establish that containment line along the northeast sides of the fire, along the east side of the fire as well. Structure protection is a priority also. On the south flank of the fire, kind of where the fire started at the point of origin, they're really doing a lot of mop up in that area. It's still very hot. There's a lot of heat remaining in that vegetation. So they're really trying to mop that up in there, make sure it's cold and out before we can safely let people back into that area as well.
Still no injuries?
No injuries.
Anything else we didn't ask? Anything that you think be important for the community that might be on set status? I mean, just yesterday you had so many people that did pack up those RVs and get those go bags ready, and then all of a sudden they were told you have to go. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the community closer to here that are also worried. Anything you'd like to share with them?
Again, just please be prepared. Be ready to go at a moment's notice. This is a fluid situation. The fire conditions are changing rapidly, especially behind the wind and the wind gusts that the fire is experiencing. Yesterday it was 65 miles per hour. Today it was about 45 to 50 miles per hour. The winds could shift, the fire could switch directions. Again, please just pay attention to the news that's coming out of here, the weather, the fire conditions. Be ready to go. We like to give people ample time to get prepared. That's why we put them on set before we just push to go. But sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes the fire's knocking on our doors and we've got to start knocking on your doors to get you out immediately. So just be prepared and be mindful of the conditions around you. And we appreciate your patience, especially those that have have been evacuated. We know you want to get back home. The firefighters are doing everything they can to make sure that it is safe, that we can lift those go notifications so you can get back into your homes. The last thing we want to do is put residents back in their homes and have to re-evacuate them again. So just please be patient with us. The firefighters are doing everything they can. They're working safely, diligently, and as hard as they can to get containment line around this fire so that we can put people back in their homes.